Welcome to the first episode of Tufts Lately with Ben and Chris. I'm Ben.
And I'm Chris. We're the hosts of the show and created this as an alternative news source.
Tufts Lately gives a closer look at the hot topics on this cold-ass Tufts campus.
We're not talking about the weather.
Our show is here to say what we know everyone's already thinking, and we'll cover all the drama and buzz of Tufts with our own personal twist.
Ben over here is a self-proclaimed savage. He hails from Los Angeles.
Calabasas.
And he thinks he's a Kardashian, but he's basically just your average nice Jewish boy.
Thanks, Chris. My co-anchor in crime is the least obnoxious person to come from New York, and brings his patent sarcasm to the show with oh so many facial expressions.
We met at the beginning of this year when we were two opinionated freshmen, naked and afraid together in the woods.
Not naked, but definitely afraid. You'd be surprised what being in the woods can do to two city kids.
Now you might be thinking, why do we care what two freshmen have to say? Well, first, ouch.
And second, we can totally be your token freshman friend to bring to parties.
Yeah, and since Greek life is basically gone, I'll be your little.
Anyways, you'll have to excuse Chris's resting bitch face.
And you'll have to appreciate Ben's tacky-ass Taurus getup, because we've got a lot for you tonight. I mean, what a semester it's been.
Honestly, dude, I'm so glad it's almost over.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the rest of the campus is ready for 2017 and the 1,460 days of Trump to start.
Probably not.
You're one of the few people that wasn't crying on election night.
It's true. Actually, we've got some dope interviews with people on election night. You won't want to miss it.
Wait, Ben, how are we supposed to speak our minds? Isn't free speech dead at Tufts or something?
Doesn't seem like it, especially since some students staged a walkout to support Tufts as a sanctuary space.
We'll be discussing all this and more in our very first episode. I'm Chris.
I'm Ben, and this is Tufts Lately.
And now for a look back at the issue that dominated Facebook feeds everywhere this semester: the untimely demise of free speech on campus.
The shuffling of free speech from the mortal coil became known to the public in early September when sophomore and kid who peaked at his bar mitzvah, Jake Goldberg, fearlessly led the charge to liberate oppressed white guys everywhere with his civil liberties group, Students Advocating for Students.
Goldberg and SAS proposed a resolution to remove what they called free speech violations from certain Tufts policies, with particular emphasis on sexual misconduct and sexual harassment policies, claiming that they are too vague and allow the university to potentially target specific students.
When you look at the specific policies Goldberg references, however, they don't seem vague at all. If Goldberg can't tell what sexual harassment is, how could he possibly know that when you're playing beer pong and the opposing team hits your center cup followed by all three vertices in succession, your team is to run around the res squad wearing nothing but a Tony Monaco mask? Unless, of course, you behind the back the opposing team's front left cup in the trajectory of a predetermined parametricization, in which case the punishment befalls the opposition.
We here at Tufts lately identified numerous human decency violations in the resolution, and that it is literally trying to protect one's right to harass their classmate in whatever way and whatever medium they see fit. No school wants a 100% ideologically homogenous student body, but at what point does an admissions officer read "The South shall rise again" and think, yeah, we'll pass?
Goldberg argued that the best solution to offensive speech is more speech, and this is the reaction that basically everyone at Tufts had to the resolution: more speech. We're talking about everything from Harambe memes to B-movie scripts to buying up the domain ignorantwhitemen.org and redirecting it to Goldberg's website.
It truly was a symbol of all that is quirky in our student body. And by what must be natural law, the reaction to our reaction was not one that valued our free speech.
A student at Tufts University in Massachusetts came under attack for his proposal to promote free speech on campus. Sophomore Jake Goldberg proposed a free speech resolution that it simply sought to reaffirm students' First Amendment rights. According to social media posts published by the College Fix, some students lashed out at Goldberg. One post referred to him as simply meninist scum. Meninist is a play on the word feminist.
I love the stereotypical Fox News anchor all like, and for those of you that don't know, meninist is a play on the word feminist, and because this is Fox News, you probably don't know anything about that.
You would think that this backlash would be exactly what Goldberg was trying to protect, but it isn't. Because while he may write articles that wax poetically about free speech, what the resolution is really trying to protect is offensive speech. The world of SAS is one where a man can go out and call his lab partner sweet nips, or tell his TA he'd like to ram her raw, and after exercising his right to free speech, he'd be rewarded with a blowjob for his courage. Exactly like our founding fathers had intended.
If SAS's resolution fails, then we will remain trapped in this tall tower of ivory. Free speech and civil discourse is alive and well at Tufts. Sure, we may not be the most politically diverse university, but the fact that Jake Goldberg and people like him can write their resolutions and their op-eds, and that people like us can get a silly TV show just to rip them apart, is proof that what they claim to be talking about just isn't a problem.
I don't know what tower Jake is looking at, but when I look at his resolution, I see a whole lot of ivory. So here's the thing. We have Facebook, Twitter, Yik Yak, and even Snapchat as spaces where students can speak as freely as they want with no repercussions. To be honest, we have the whole damn internet for that.
But in response to Goldberg's resolution, we here at Tufts lately have come up with a brand new counterproposal to protect your First Amendment rights.
Paid freedom of speech. This isn't a new idea, people. Tommy Lahren has been getting paid by the Blaze Network to be racist for over a year now. Seems to be working out well for her.
We understand. You feel oppressed like you're locked up in an ivory tower. So we want to offer you a new opportunity to be as racist, homophobic, and sexist as you'd like.
So every semester, you and a bunch of friends have a chance to chip in some jumbo cash or Venmo payments.
Some rhino bucks, if you're feeling artsy.
Sure. To a brand new space to speak your mind.
Chris.
What was that, Ben? Oh, this already exists? Right, sorry. That's just the basic premise of fraternity dues.
Chris.
Well, not anymore, I guess.
With all the eclectic personalities here on campus, we thought it would be interesting to sample political discourse on election night. Here are some of the people who weren't crying.
You know, I've been trying to find an excuse to wear this. I really couldn't say no to it when I got it on sale. Yep, tonight just felt right.
Marijuana is on the ballot in lots of states.
I mean, if you have the American flag closed, what else are you aware of? It's true.
Who's your candidate? If you want to say, yeah, you did, I guess. Do you like Donald Trump?
No comment. I'll respect the privacy of the voter either way, but what I will say is my thoughts on this election, regardless, were fucked. We don't really have a good outcome either way. What I'm trying to do, a lot of people I see around here are stressed out of their minds, and I mean, yes, this does have a significant impact on the future of our country, but I gotta say, if you look at this more like a sports game to kind of enjoy it for what it is, it's not how I want to be looking at an election, but you can definitely enjoy it tonight.
Jumbo will be available for pictures. We have, forgot to mention, a photo booth upstairs.
You know, I'm an American first, and it felt like a night to be an American, regardless of what happens tonight.
Interesting, America First was the slogan of white supremacists.
What that actually was. Can I be... Let me make it clear and add a second part to that quote.
America First, but who's second?
I'm American. What are you guys doing? Good?
No, definitely not a white supremacist.
No.
That tiny mark.
Very patriotic.
He isn't.
Yes, it is.
Projected range 3 specifically. Reprojectile carriers stay Tennessee.
I know what you're thinking about tonight. You're freaking out about the results. Things may be or may not be going your way, but it's really close. Either way, take it for what it's worth and try and enjoy it, because life's too short. You'll never make it out alive if you take it too seriously.
Last month, in the wake of a historically terrifying election, students here at Tufts staged a walkout to advocate for Tufts' designation as a sanctuary campus. This would ensure that Tufts would not release undocumented students' information unless mandated by law enforcement or the government. The rally took place outside of Olin and saw hundreds of students of all ethnicities and orientations gathered in harmony. Although I'm sure a few teachers were surprised when their entire class up and left just as they began the day's lecture on quantitative metaphysical latrine theory.
President Monaco issued a statement last week agreeing to the students' terms and signed a letter unofficially designating Tufts as a sanctuary campus. We here at Tufts lately sympathize with these students' cause, and because we fully understand what they're aiming for, also designate the studio as a sanctuary. Let's celebrate. Mazel tov.
Ben, what are you doing?
What, never been to a bar mitzvah before? Plus Hanukkah's coming up. Just getting in the holiday spirit.
This is literally the campus center.
Hi, I'm Trent Bradley Jr. I'm the president of the Beta Sigma chapter at Tufts University.
And I'm Daniel, his frat translator.
Now, some of you may be aware of the troubling practices that occur throughout the Tufts Greek community, and we would like to address those issues tonight.
We know about them the whole time.
We find these practices disturbing, bizarre, and above all, unacceptable.
Unacceptable as long as we don't get caught.
We here at Beta Sigma are committed to upholding the traditions set forth by scholarly gentlemen.
These traditions mostly center around drinking.
Our pledging process is committed to educating,
hazing,
growing,
hazing,
and developing
hazing
the fine young men of Tufts University.
White people.
We pride ourselves on striving to make Tufts University a safe, accepting, and inviting place for all students.
That is, unless you're pledged, in which case, you're so fucked.
To demonstrate, we've brought one of our own Beta Sigma pledges to this presentation. Kyle, get out here.
His pledge name is Gooch Liquor.
Kyle, please tell the audience how you're treated here at Beta Sigma.
It's really great.
See? He loves it.
He hates it and feels completely dehumanized.
Thank you, Kyle. You may leave.
Go clean up all the vomit in the basement.
Yes, Daddy.
As a result of the abuses caused by Tufts fraternities, we will be suspending our rush process in the spring. Not because we have to.
Not because we want to.
But because we want to.
But because we have to.
We will be making serious changes to our organization in the coming months to make sure these practices never happen again.
Yeah, they'll probably happen again, but you won't hear about it.
In conclusion, we are here to say sorry to everyone in the Tufts community.
Not because we're actually sorry though, but you know, because we got caught.
Recently, Tufts fraternities and Greek life as a whole have been put under scrutiny after an article was published in Tufts Observer recounting horrific hazing incidents and sexual assault violations. Sophomore Ben Kesslin aired out all of Rush Week's dirty laundry for the world to see, and the administration shut it down. After the article's initial publishing, Kesslin and his case received a massive outpouring of support, until it went from 0 to 100 real quick. The Interfraternity Council voluntarily decided to cancel all social activities for the rest of the semester, which basically just means frat parties only freshmen go to. Even Rush Week, projected to start in the spring semester, has been suspended. These sanctions have led to just a few different reactions from the Tufts student body.
To all those butthurt freshmen who don't think they have any potential outlet for a social life, chill. Join a comedy group, choreograph a dance, discover your hidden passion for Japanese culture. Tufts has always rightfully prided itself on our extensive and easygoing social scene, and there's guaranteed to be a place for you. Plus, why did you go to Tufts if Greek life was supposed to be your main focus in college? Roll bows, not roll tide. Nerds can't have it all. And you do realize you can just rush fall semester next year. It's not the end of the world.
And to all the sororities who feel they were unfairly lumped in with the frats in this issue, we hear you, girl. But to reform and fix the Greek life system, it takes all of the system. It'll be a short-term pain for a long-term solution. I think it'll be worth it in the end. So don't just sit, but play an active role in shaping the campus. And to those that have said trying to end a harmful institution, especially one that organizes people, could never work, well, doesn't look like we have slave states anymore.
Many students believe the frats here are getting what they deserve, but that doesn't mean it goes in the dub column for you and your work is done. And to those bashing Ben Kesslin for turning your beloved institution upside down, respect his very real experience and understand that one person really can make a huge impact on the entire campus. Now, I'd like to see Jake Goldberg stand up for Ben Kesslin's right to free speech.
Lax and Crafts House are very excited with the potential to finally be recognized as real party locations on the weekend. But even those two social locations are not perfect in their conduct. In fact, many on-campus organizations have issues with hazing or initiation processes, sexual misconduct at social events, racism, and sexism. The issues that led to the downfall of Greek life are not exclusive to fraternities, and permanently banning frat events will not solve all of Tufts' issues. As a campus, Tufts needs to reform all social functions if we want to see real change. And let's just take a pause from all of this for a second. By exacerbating the whole issue, Tufts administration has successfully taken every student's mind off of the ridiculous tuition hikes. Those sneaky dogs. Well, just to remind you, Tufts was raised 3.6%, which is almost $2,000 more. We're here live outside Lax House 13 to see where the Tufts party scene is migrated.
We're talking with fun-loving Sammy Schwartz to hear her opinion on the ban on frats.
Thank you guys so much for asking for my opinion. I'm so glad that frats can't host anymore. Those parties are so unsafe and predatory. I mean, I really... Ow!
Ha ha! Did that guy just grab your butt?
I'm sure it was an accident. I mean, it's so crowded out here. Anyways, as I was saying, the objectification of women in fraternities was unacceptable. I should be treated like a human being, not just like a sack of...
Hey, nice tits. Want some punch?
Thank you so much. Let me just finish up here. Anyways, the hyper-masculine environment that frats create is so toxic. Thank God sports teams don't run purely on testosterone and gross competitions for masculinity.
And now it's our pleasure to welcome two members of the Tufts Greek life community to shed some light on the implications of banning spring recruitment. Thank you for being with us, Allison and Chad.
Gosh, Ben and Chris, thank you so much for having us on your show. I'd just like to start off by saying that as a Chi Ao Theta Pi Omega sister, I accept responsibility for the terrible issues surrounding Greek life on campus. Us sorority sisters need to seriously reflect on our actions. I mean, I feel just terrible.
I mean, really? Many would argue that sororities are bearing an unfair portion of the guilt, since you guys aren't responsible for the rampant sexual assault or hazing like the frats are.
Well, gee, we've been so bad. I mean, Sarah accidentally left out Jessica from the invite list for our latest fundraiser, and my big has spent just way too much money on me recently. Plus, we forgot to tell Rebecca that we're all coordinating colors for Fall Gala. I just feel terrible.
These just don't seem like punishable offenses, Allison.
Well, there was that one time that we tried to host a fundraiser party for impoverished children, but we forgot we're not allowed to technically host parties without being considered a bra.
I don't know what you're getting your pennies in a bunch about.
Chad, what do you have to say about the situation?
We buckled down on hazing. All we did was make the pledges stand and cut on a biscuit while being forced to watch. And even though we made for secretly like being we were pretty merciful. When I was a pledge, we 3 times than the to eat the biscuit.
That's absolutely horrifying.
It's not that bad. It's a tradition. I don't understand what you narcs are so worked up about. Maybe it's that time of the month. Ha!
Okay.
Look, bruh. All I'm saying is you did nothing wrong. Sure, maybe we each chug a handle of Cuervo, then to the pledge's hood in front of them, and then have them all to create a puke waterfall. Maybe that was a little too far. I just don't understand why we're being punished so unfairly.
Thank you, Chad and Allison, for your enlightening thoughts on the question of punishment for frats. I mean, Greek life. Now that the frats are gone, ex-frat brothers have converted their pent-up masculine energy from aggressive behaviors to more wholesome Saturday night activities. Here to speak on this topic is our resident frat bro, Mike.
Hey Ben and Chris, thank you so much for having me on the show tonight. It's a real honor, and I think it's safe to say I'm a new man.
Really? That seems a little hard to believe.
Okay, I understand why you would say that, but trust me, it's true. Ever since we stopped hosting raging parties and exerting energy in the form of sexual aggression, I've had a lot of free time on my hands to pick up activities I just never really was able to get around to before. For instance, I've started baking.
Baking?
Yes. In fact, I brought you guys a platter of my famous homemade chocolate chip cookies with a lavender pate. Please try one.
Wow, it's actually pretty impressive. Thanks.
It's just a little hobby I picked up on the side. Whoa, hey! Knock it off over there, boys. You know what we've talked about with sharing needles.
What?
No. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. It's my embroidery work. That's where I really shine.
That seems a little hard to believe.
Why? We have Saturday nights free now and want to stay productive. So all the brothers thought it'd be really cute if we just got together for these nice little sewing circles. That's actually where we came up with the idea for our next fundraiser.
All right, well, what is it?
Okay, listen. So all the brothers are going to donate their novelty bonds to be auctioned off to raise money for cancer research. Since we don't have parties, we won't be needing those anymore. Also, our party budget is now going to go to a new group therapy program we're implementing to mend the traumatic consequences of our hazing rituals. I think this is going to do great things for the public.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, Mike. Back to the studio.
That's our show tonight. Thank you to all the actors that declined to appear in this because it was too controversial. You're really doing your part to critique Greek life and further free speech on campus.
Thank you to the TUTV e-board, Phoebe, Carrie, and Jonah for all their help throughout the process of creating our show.
Thank you to our supportive Wilder fam for listening to all our concepts in the woods for 5 days. We love you guys.
To our writing staff and crew, you guys are absolutely hilarious. Thank you for coming into our lives to bring our vision to reality.
And finally, thank you so much to everyone who watched our premiere episode. Make sure you subscribe to TUTV by clicking here.
And like our Facebook page by clicking here to check out more episodes covering all the campus craziness next semester. I'm Ben.
I'm Chris.
And we'll see you lately.